Okay, just you can get it and get smaller.
Okay.
And Takashi, you can see the screen, Takashi.
Can you drag him into?
Yes.
Not yet.
Yes, I
Yeah,
can.
he can
Yes,
see
you
it.
can. Okay.
Can we drag him into the screen?
You want to see his face?
Yes. So I want to know whether he's sleeping.
Okay, you can go ahead.
All right.
All right. Today is World War II.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Good afternoon. Today, three of us, Takashi-san, Uno-san, watashi. It's June 30, and we are wrapping up European history in order to move forward and make a comparison between Japanese Confucian philosophy and Western philosophy. But a very brief recap where we have been looking at history. We looked at the Greek Empire characteristics, that it was actually a number of city-states that started to colonialize other parts in order to get enough food. So they started to move overseas to colonize parts where they could grow food and import that into their city states, and that's how it got started. It really took off with Alexander the Great, but since the Greece in itself was very much divided, it was very difficult to maintain that empire, and the Greek Empire, as we know it from Alexander the Great, was just as successful as the emperor itself. So he basically conquered Persia. He went up to India, and he had a pretty sound idea how to manage an empire. So he actually gave certain privileges to the people that he conquered. And actually, that led to resistance from his own people, who thought that he was too reverent, that he was too kind to the people that they conquered. And on the other hand, there were people who were conquered who didn't want to be conquered. So there was resistance everywhere, but nobody was greater than Alexander. And therefore, this was a very impressive, but at the same time, a very short-lived empire. Then we went on to look at the Roman Empire, and actually the interesting thing is that actually the Roman Empire is partly a continuation of the Greek Empire. The Greek Empire, as it existed under Alexander the Great, it went into decay, but actually under the Romans it came into full bloom, and it was known as the Eastern Roman Empire, where the Greeks were dominant, and it was actually, economically speaking, the most influential empire, part of the empire. It came to a clash with Caesar, who conquered a lot of the Western Roman Empire and came back to Rome to fight actually the Eastern Empire. So Alexander succeeded and came to rule the entire empire. So the Roman Empire, a continuation. It basically took the entire Mediterranean area from Africa into Europe, and it was a very long-lived empire. The eastern side was the 1,000-year empire. That theme we heard again when Germany was basically talking about the Third Reich, and Reich means empire. So the first empire was under Alexander the Great. The second empire was the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire, 1,000-year empire that lasted 1,000 years. Now the Third Reich, the Third Empire, was to last 1,000 years. It lasted 5 years, but so they nearly made it, but not exactly. So the Roman Empire was a very impressive empire. We see that in this period there are a lot of people moving from place to place. If we look at the maps, then we can see that a lot of the peoples that we know today, like the ancestors of the French people, the ancestor of the British people, the ancestors of the German people, did not actually live in Germany or in England or in France. They basically moved in. So everybody was on the move over this long period of time. That is a constant here. People are on the move. They're moving from east to west. And one of the big factors within the Roman Empire, and actually one that created so much, but actually a head start within in Europe, was that the Romans, they more or less united Europe. So if you had a Roman passport, you could move freely throughout the empire. So you could move from Spain to northern Africa to the Middle East. If you had a passport, you could go anywhere. And moreover, they actually included people into their empire. So you could become a Roman citizen, even though maybe you were born in today's Lebanon or in Morocco or in Spain. We could all become Roman citizens and move around freely, and that would have a big impact on trade and on cross-cultural exchange and people moving from east to west and vice versa. So that basically created this more or less melting pot that did not exist before. The Middle Ages was actually a period of decline in learning, decline in many other things, in health and wealth. Cities that like Rome, who had 1 million citizens, they went down to a few thousand actually. Literacy went down. But there was one thing in the Middle Age that really got to rise, and that was the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church became a very important center of power, very often in conflict with kings and royal houses, because the church had so much land. They could collect so much taxes that they were very, very wealthy and influential. They had money, they had power, they had land, and they also actually had the souls of the people. So as long as the church could keep the people frightened of hell and longing for heaven, and they could give them a free pass to this heaven, they could basically control them entirely, from their money to their souls to everything. There were a few kings who were starting to contest this and say, okay, well, we don't want to obey to the Catholic Church, and this led to, for example, the Reformation. This led to the Anglican Church to come into existence, and that was partially because of religious freedom. But it was also partially because it was a very effective way for rulers to annex all the land that once belonged to the Catholic Church and put that under their own reign and start to collect taxes from them. So it would make them a lot richer. Case, for example, is Queen Elizabeth, who is now the richest woman in the world because of Henry VIII. Because Henry VIII actually annexed all the land that once belonged to the Catholic Church in England.
はい、皆さんこんにちは、雲野です。今日はですね、雲野塾の研修のプログラムをご紹介したいと思います。で、こういうふうなホームページありますけれども、ぜひですね、一度中身をご覧になっていただきたいと思います。 今日は V キューブさんのスタジオに来て、この収録をしておりますので、中身はこういうふうになってて、今最近ホットなね、グローバルリーダーの定義など書いてあります。で特に経団連が作成しました、留学すれば英語ができて専門性を持つというだけではですね、グローバルリーダーになれないとここに書いてありますようにですね、仕事ができる、専門性を持つ、英語ができるだけじゃなくてですね、私どもの塾ではリベラルアースということと、それからもう一つは孫子の兵を、さらにはですね、日本の歴史というものを合わせて教えることによって、皆さんが海外の欧米の方々と、もしくは華僑圏の方々と正々堂々と渡り合えるような人物を育成しようというふうなことを考えています。ここに次のスライドが出ておりますけれども、ここに書いてありますのはですね、さらに、私どもの雲野塾の中身につきましてはですね、欧米の資料しか使っておりません。また実際に雲野塾は英語でやっておりますので、英語の講師がこう話しておりますけど、学習はですね、日本の歴史をまだ教えてますので、学習の午後はですね、日本のプログラムをしております。で以前はこれ有料だったので、今はですね、実際に会場費も取っていただいておりませんで、毎回5000円ということで、朝9時から午後5時までやっておりますので、ぜひ皆さんですね、ご検討の上ご参加いただければと。英語のできない方もですね、学習の午後こういうふうな検証をしておりますので、ぜひご参加いただければというふうに思っておりますので、よろしくお願いします。でここにさらにですね、グループ討議とか実務の勘どころを教えると書いてありますけど、実際には私が10年ほどですね、欧米の新聞とか雑誌等をですね集めてきた、もともと英語のベースでございますので、そうしたものをですね50セッションのテーマに分けて資料作成をしております。そういうことで、世界のオペレーション、もしくはカントリーリスクも含めてですね、しかも世界のトップの方々に対してもいろいろな分析とか洞察をしてですね議論をしております。そういったことも含めてですね、今後ともよろしくお願いしたいと思います。以上で私の挨拶を終えますが、今回のこのビデオの収録にあたってはですね、V キューブさんのスタジオをお借りしてですね、お時間を頂戴して、このビデオを作成させていただきました。よろしくお願いします。どうもありがとうございました。